let's get into player props and try to run through those real quick if you're good with it.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, we can start with a pretty quick one. Let's pop through
Oh,
DeMario.
wait, are you going to start with Pop Douglas?
I'm going to start with Pop Douglas.
Okay, well, then we're actually being very efficient here because guess who else loves Pop Douglas this week? Let's get into it.
Are you going yards or are you going receptions?
Doing exactly what you're doing, baby.
Okay. 9 targets last week, 9 targets the week before this, 9 targets against the Jets on Thursday Night Football. This is the go-to guy. He's in the slot. You have a rookie quarterback. You're going, where are you going? If you have a rookie quarterback, you're going the middle of the field. And DeMario Douglas, they know how to scheme him open. This is the only question is, does he catch all of his targets? Because he will get targeted close to 10 times, if not more, in this game. The only question is, does he catch all? Does he get 5 of them? Does he catch half of them? Because if he can catch half of them, then you win. And if 5. He doesn't, you lose. But there's no question the ball's going his way, and you give him those free releases. No one's going to be playing press man in the slot against DeMario Douglas, not with his over-the-top ability. I know that that's not his game, but he does have that ability. Yep. It just seems very obvious to me. If you're looking for a comp because you haven't been watching the Patriots, just think Rashee Rice, albeit from a different lineup, right? Yeah. Just think Rashee Rice, drag routes, slant routes over the middle. This is an extension of the running game. Yeah. This is what the Patriots have to do. And it looked pretty good last week, if we're being honest. Like,
let's be honest about it, because Drake May is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. Let's just start there.
Jacoby was in there because Jacoby is 250 pounds and their offensive line is god awful. And
we both agreed a few weeks ago that maybe Jacoby Brissett was a bit to blame for his inability to get out of the pocket, right?
No doubt.
And obviously, you could make the case that Drake May should have been in there against the Dolphins before the Texans, so he didn't get murdered. That's a very popular take. Regardless, who's going to be his favorite target? It's going to be DeMario Douglas. And by the way, DeMario Douglas, the week before Drake May got in there with Jacoby Brissett, went up against a guy named Jalen Ramsey, who you've probably heard of.
I've heard of him.
He's pretty good at
the one who's washed. Still.
Not ready to say that, but maybe this is the first. This is the downturn season. You're right, but last year not washed. 6 for 59 against Jalen with Jacoby in there, getting peppered with targets. Yeah, I love this at 4.5. It's still plus money. I love. Oh, is it? Oh my God!
I have it at minus 135.
Wow, this cratered in the last 2 hours. Deez, this plus 115 still, unless that was a wrong number. But regardless, minus 105. That's still great. I would consider a ladder to 5.5. He's got 6 receptions in 3 of the last 4 games now.
I can buy that.
Plus 175, a fine number. I really was hoping to get that 2-1, but regardless, I still think that's worth a sprinkle. And you're talking about the Jags. I don't even know if you mentioned how bad the Jags are at wide receiver or cornerback, but also we should mention the when you're playing in the slot against this team, you're going up probably against Darnell Savage. He's in concussion protocol. If not, you're going up against Jerrion Jones, household name, I'm sure. 54.7 grade on PFF if you're interested. So 66% completion percentage against this man for 15 points out of the slot. 15 yards per attempt against this man out of the slot. They're just peppering him with downfield targets. So
and he's going to be again off coverage. And even if it's Savage, Savage is a safety, and I can appreciate that they can play him on the line of scrimmage or close to the line of scrimmage. But again, you're not looking for deep shots. You're not looking to exploit the seam. We're not talking about wide choice. We're talking about drag routes because, as you noted. Okay, Drake May is going to get killed. Now, Drake May can escape the pocket. That's one thing that he can do that Jacoby Brissett cannot. But the flip side of that is they're going to build up a game plan where he gets the ball out of his hands fast.
Right.
So who's it going to go to? Middle of the field, short routes.
And I would also say, I just want to bring it up real quick. I'm trying to see what the pressure percentage is from, because I know we were all waiting for Jacksonville to be near the top of the league in pressure percentage. They have been terrible. They're all the way down here, bottom 10 in terms of pressure percentage. So I still think Drake May is going to have some time, but there's no real deep target for this team right now.
No,
Boot is now in there. Another household name, I think it's Kayshon Boot, Boutte, is going to be out there. That might be on the outside for them, but this is going to be all about going down the middle. Like you said, I think Hunter Henry's a sneaky play if you can get decent numbers for him. But DeMario Douglas is going to continue to be a guy that, have an amazing cone drill, crushes the ladder drill. Like it's just, this dude is just quick little routes. So no one, like even Darnell Savage, definitely not going to be able to stay in front of him. But I guess I only have 2 since you had 3. And I'm going to go
Well,
back to
I'm
that
sorry.
Seahawks game.
You didn't. You don't. We're going 2.5. We're claiming
Right.
Demario Douglas. This
Both
is
of
a
us.
joint custody here.
Fair. And I might have a bonus pick in here too, because I will say this: I would take Drake May, and I am going to give this out in the Discord, but I would take Drake May over 203.5 passing yards against the team. The only thing that's weird is London. London is what scares me. The Jags have been there for a week, but they're a tire fire, man. Doug Peterson, this was the best quote. Doug Peterson, we just don't have any culture right now. That would be like me being like, sorry guys, I just don't have any episodes right now. It's just we need to figure out how to get episodes out to you. It's like, you're the one in control of getting the episodes out. So how are you?
Culture right
it's
now.
Your culture. You created it, which is nothing. But all right,
they're getting cultured in London.
Yeah, precisely. What a hilarious moment in time to talk about culture. But let me go back to that really fun, awesome game, which is the Seahawks and the Falcons. I really think that's gonna be the game of the week in terms of like what you want to watch on however you're watching your football. But I'm gonna go to Gino. Yeah, right. I'm going to go to Gino. And the thing that I'm going to go with him is the pass completions.
Okay.
And this is a very, very matchup based. I got this and gave it a minus 105. It's down to minus 120. I would play 24.5 up to like minus 135, minus 140, and put a little extra units on it because, I mean, a couple of things. Obviously, the hit rate is really nice this season because we're talking about the man who attempts the most passes and completes the most passes as well. Obviously 33, 38, 30, 3 games over 30 completions is going to probably warrant you being lead in that category. He's going up against a team that is 32nd, as you can see here, in passing completion percentage against. And I know you know this about this, the Falcons defense, what I'm about to say, which is they want you to throw the ball 5 yards down the field in front of their incredible defensive backfield that is just waiting to lay you out in terms of Simmons and company and Tyler Bates as well. Once they got Tyler Bates, I was like, that is a terrifying combination. And
they're going full Ronnie Lott. They're going to play too high. Yeah. They're going to have those guys ball hawking if you ever want to go deep, and they're going to absolutely wreck you over the middle of the field. Right. It is a bend but don't break defense to the core because they don't have the pass rush right now.
Right. Nope. And that pass rush is dead last as well in terms of its pressure percentage, depending where you get it. But pressure percentage over expectation, terrible. They're not getting anything, and they're not trying to, like we said. So Gino's going to sit back there. I would consider under on his rushing yards. Because there's really not going to, they play the fourth most zone, I believe, for the Falcons. So they're going to continue to do that. Oh, actually, they're second. Wow, they're worse. I would not have predicted that, but I guess they're not spying the QB very much. And they probably played, I mean, I know they played like Justin Fields and a couple other Russian quarterbacks, but
they don't have the personnel to do that either.
That's fair. Yeah. Maybe you do. That's not quite as good of a play. I thought that would be way more available, and Gino has been taken off, but regardless, I would still stick with the pass completions for him. The other, like the pressure percentage is actually 5th worst. But they still have, I'm sorry. What I'm looking at here is the Seahawks inability to run. That's why we're still going to get a ton of attempts from Gino in this game. That was my final point here. Is just if you look at the passing attempts, 50 over 50 twice because of the fact that they would rather throw the ball 3-4 yards down the field with their pass blocking, which is like 5th best in the league in terms of its pass block grade versus its run block grade, which is in the bottom 5 in the league. So this is what they're built to do.
Okay, I'm going to run through these next two real fast. I'm going to go bang here. The George Kittle over 4.5 receptions should need no explanation. But I will explain it anyway. Kansas City's given up the most receptions to tight ends this year. Why do they do that? They don't have a weak side linebacker who can cover anybody man-to-man. Okay, now we take it one step further. What is Kansas City going to do against the 49ers this week? The same shit they did in the Super Bowl. They're going to press up man-to-man, and they're going to dare Deebo Samuel to win. He will not. They will dare Brock Purdy to beat the blitz, which is something that he has struggled to do. I know not statistically, but emotionally, you watch the games where the 49ers have lost. It's because he just makes a bad decision or two with the blitz. That's when he turns the ball over. The Chiefs are the best blitzing team in the NFL. You have to play man-to-man behind the blitz. I just think George Kittle over the middle, the one man-to-man beater that Brock Purdy is throwing the ball to because he's not looking Brandon Ayuk's way. 4.5 receptions. If Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill can do it, George Kittle sure as shit can do it. Yep. I just think wide choice route is good for 3. And then George Kittle has been the best red zone receiver in the NFL this year. The one guy Brock trusts to throw it in there tight. You don't have a Juwan Jennings in all likelihood. It has to be a massive game for George Kittle, so it will be a massive game for George Kittle. Yep. Moving on, let's talk James Conner.
Love it.
Against those Chargers. Go Chargers.
Go Chargers.
I'm down. I'm under on James Conner rushing yards. I do not like Arizona's run blocking. Obviously, the Chargers, one of the best run stopping teams in the NFL. Jesse Minter has dudes in blenders right now. He's a joy to watch if you're an all-22 fan at this moment, because the defense is really clicking for the Chargers. They figured out what he's asking them to do. He has put some really good quarterbacks, I would argue Patrick Mahomes even, just in the blender. Just they don't know what's going on. He's going full Brian Flores on them. On top of that, they're just so stout against the run that it's hard for me to imagine that Arizona, as much as everyone does want to buy into this idea that, hey, this could be a really fun game and that Arizona can push it, I don't see it. The hit and miss this season for Connor has been jarring, right? And the carries haven't always been there. I do think they want to get DeMercado in there a little bit more. I think they're going to be in a situation where they have to have DeMercado in there a little bit more. But this is not the kind of game that lends itself to James Conner, in that, again, you have a very stout run defense. And when he's down, he's all the way down. And when he's up, he's all the way up. And typically they like to use him as a fourth quarter battering ram, second half battering ram. I don't think that's going to be available to them in this game because I think so highly of the Chargers defense. Yeah. So I'm down on James Conner, 61.5 yards. Don't love the line. Yeah. Would prefer if it was a little bit higher. But again, you have to cake in the bust potential, and the bust potential for him has been massive this year. As you can see, 50, 17, 24. I don't see a bounce back.
And Herbert looked awesome last week. I mean, as far as a quarterback controlling the game against the Broncos, it was just like he just did what he needed to do. He was kind of Patrick Mahomes-esque, the current form of Patrick Mahomes, which is like, I don't need to go to run for 30 yards, and I don't need to have a 30-yard ADOT or a 20-yard ADOT. Like, I just need to get completions on third down. I just need to make sure that I sustain the drives. We have a very good run game, an incredible run blocking scheme, especially on the Chiefs, but Chargers as well this year with Harbaugh have shown that they're much improved. So I'm 100% with you on this one. This thing has dropped from 65.5 down to 61.5. To your point, it's a lot lower than you might feel as comfortable with. But I think this Arizona team is going to be throwing. I think they're going to get down. I do think I'm way higher on this Chargers offense than I was. Every week I get higher on it, especially as Herbert got healthy and sort of overcame the fact that his receiving core blows compared to what it's been. Maybe Huge, maybe Quinn Johnson, maybe.
I mean, we don't have to place a bet on any of that, but it's just simply Jim Harbaugh's teams are going to be awesome on the lines of scrimmage, and they will progressively get better as the season goes along if they have good enough players. And frankly, we can question their wide receivers and stuff. Like, that's fine. This is classic Jim Harbaugh football, and Jim Harbaugh's teams get better as the years go on.
With it,
the season goes on.
I'm with it 100%. That's good for me. I love those picks right there. I love Kittle as a tutty play as well. Tight end 1 on the season in fantasy. Like, what a great season for him right now.
Wide receiver 1 as a red zone option. I mean, no one 100%. More receptions, more. He's got 5 touchdowns in the red zone this year. Like, that's where they're going, because again, he's the one guy on the 49ers who can consistently and repeatedly, and by the way, in Brock Purdy's line of vision, beat man to man. He has 7 catches against man to man this year. The rest of the 49ers have 14. Like,
man to man,
it's pretty straightforward. And
athletic tight ends against man to man coverage. Yep, we talk about it all the time. Like, anybody that can actually beat somebody on a route is with that. So all right, good stuff this week. We've got some plays to hit for sure. So I appreciate the time as always, Dietz. I'm gonna get us out of here on that, and we will see you back next week. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait, baby. All right, until we see you next, then, happy betting.